Hey guys, welcome to another video of 7A Math, and this time we're going over lessons 2.6, solving equations with multiplication and division. Okay, hope if you didn't get that, we're going over lesson 2.6, solving equations with multiplication and division. So, let's begin. Disclaimer, if you haven't watched lesson 2.5, solving equations with addition and subtraction, go back and watch it before you watch this, because I'll be referencing a lot of what we learned from that video on this video. Okay, so let's review. Solve the equation x plus 1 is equal to 4. Okay, so first of all, I like to rewrite the equation x plus 1 is equal to 4, and then I solve. Okay, our goal is to isolate x. So that means, what number do we need to remove? Plus 1 or 4? Well, it's plus 1. Okay, we want to get rid of all of this. So how do we get rid of that? Well, first of all, we need to draw the line. Second of all, you figure out what operation is the inverse operation of addition. Basically, what operation undo addition? Well, it's subtraction. Okay, so that means you're subtracting 1 on one side. But wait, equation is a balance. So if you subtract 1 on the left side of the balance, you also have to subtract 1 on the right side of the balance. Then you solve. Plus 1 minus 1 cancel each other out. X is by itself, bring it down, bring down the equal sign, and we have 4 minus 1, which is 3. Okay, so your answer must have been x is equal to 3. Okay, better way, better look. Here you go. So you might be wondering already, even in the last video, you might be wondering, why is my teacher drawing a line on the equal sign? Well, here's why. Okay, a lot of students, when they solve this equation, is they're going to minus 1 on one side and minus 1 on this side. Okay, and that's how they're going to solve it. And that's wrong, okay? Because minus 1 should supposed to be on the other side of the equal sign. The line helps the students, help you guys figure out what the side is, okay? So that means if I put minus 1 on this side, you're not gonna put minus 1 on the same side. You're going to put minus 1 on the opposite side. Way easier, right? Of course, when if you're high level math, you don't need this. You don't need the line. But you guys are 7th grade, okay? So draw the line. And once again, here's what I'm talking about. Draw equation is a balance. X plus 1 is on one side and 4 is on the other side. Okay. So what operation we do on the left side, we also have to do it on the right side. Now we move on to inverse operation. If you recall, inverse operation are operations that undo each other. Okay? And we also recall that addition and subtraction are inverse operation. Basically what we did in the review. If we want to undo addition, we're going to use subtraction. And if it was subtraction, we're going to use addition. Basically, add plus minus minus plus. Now, we're going to go the other operation that we missed last video or last class, multiplication and division. And guess what? They are also inverse operation. What does that mean? Well, it means that if we want to undo division, we use Here's my cursor. Multiplication. And if we want to undo multiplication, we're going to use division. Okay? Simple as that. Now, before we start undoing operation, I want you guys to remember what operation are being shown. Okay? Possibility here, and I want you guys to answer on your own or list it out. What operation is being shown in 2x and what operation is being shown in x over 2. Okay? So on a sheet of paper, I want you guys to write what operation you think is 2x and x over 2. Okay? Hint, they are not addition or subtraction. Another hint, if you forgot what is operation, is the 4 operation we do. Okay? Is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now pause the video here and answer the question. Hopefully you pause the video, because now we're going to answer the question. So every time you see a number and a variable together, okay, this is not multiply, this is x. Every time you see 2x, every time you see a number and a variable like 2x, you're going to think multiplication. Okay? So let's say you have 3y. That is still a multiplication. If you have 4 and b, that is still multiplication. Now how about this, x over 2? Well, some of you might already answered this is fraction. Well, I'm not talking about fractions though. I know it's a fraction, but that's not an operation. That's a form of a number, a fraction. Talk about the operation here, guys. And if you answer fraction, well, you're not listening. Fraction, x over 2, if you see a fraction, you're going to say is division. Okay? So let's say you have 1 over 2, that is also division. Okay? Basically, you're doing 1 divided by 2. Or if you have 11 over 3, that is also division. Okay? That's basically 11 divided by 3. Okay? If you cannot see my handwriting, here's a better one. Division, multiplication. Why is that useful? Why do we need to know this? Well, most of the example or the problem you're going to see is going to be in this form. Okay? Not the normal 2 times x thing or x divided by 2. Not that form. It's going to be this form. Why? Why is it this form and not this form? Well, putting in fraction and in this form and coefficient in term, basically terms mode, gives us plenty of room to maneuver with math. Okay? So now we move on to the main topic, solving equation. Okay? Solving equation, again, our goal is to isolate the variable. We want the letter on one side of the equation with no other else near it, okay, except the equal sign. So in this case, if we have an example, solve 11x is equal to 55, you want to get rid of 11. Okay. So how do we get rid of 11? Well, first of all, this is multiplication. So to undo multiplication, you're going to have to divide. Okay. So instead of going to use division symbol, I like to put in fraction. Okay. You put 11 on both sides of the equation, divide them. Now, here's the thing. Here's why we're doing this in this one. In fraction, if you have a number on the top and a number on the bottom and they're the same thing, what we can do is we can cross them out. So if we both cross 11 out, you're left with what? X is equal to 55 over 11, or if you simplify that, you'll get 5. Okay? So if you forgot fraction, just remember this is also division. 55 divided by 11 gives you 5. Of course, you can check the solution. 11 times 5 is equal to 55. 11 times 5 is 55, and since 55 is equal to 55, our solution checks out. Okay? We move on to the next example. 15x is equal to 75. Okay, once again, you're going to divide both sides by 15. Well, not 75, 15, because 15 is closer to x. Divide both sides by 15. 15 cancels out. You're left with x is equal to 75 over 15, which is let's see, 15 times 4, or 15 times 5, 5, 25, 5 times 1, 5, 75. So that means 75 divided by 15 is 5. So that's your answer, okay? X is equal to 5. Once again, check your solution. 15 times 5 is equal to 75. Well, let's see. 15 times 5, I already saw it, is 75. Since 75 is equal to 75, our solution checks out. Okay. Now we move on to the next example. We have x over 4 is equal to 9. Okay. Our goal is you want x by itself. So can you guys tell me what number do we need to get rid of? 4 or 9? Well, if you answer 4, you did a great job. If you answer 9, please pay attention. X over 4. How do we get rid of how do we undo division? Well, you have to multiply 4 on both sides. Okay, I like it drawing like this. The 4 cancels out. Again, that's another property of fraction. So if you forgot your fraction, please feel free to go back and learn it. I need you guys to learn it. Okay? Bring down the x. 9 times 4 is 9, 18, 27, 36. So that means x is equal to 36. Okay? Now let's check the solution. 36 over 4 is equal to 9? Question mark. Well, if you divide 36 by 4, you'll get 9. 9 times 4 is 36. 0, so that means 36 over 4 can be simplified to 9. And since 9 is equal to 9, our solution checks out. Last example. Here we have y over 8 is equal to 9. Once again, you multiply both sides by what number? 8. The 8 cancels out. On the left side, you're left with y is equal to 9 times 8, which is 72. Check your solution. 72 over 8 is equal to 9, question mark. Well, 72 divided by 8 will give you 9. 9 times 8 is 72, 0. So 72 divided by 8 is 9. And since 9 is equal to 9, our solution is correct. Okay? Okay, last example, my bad. This is, sometimes you get questions like this. 5x is equal to 11. Of course, you probably by now you divide both sides by 5. You get x is equal to, now here's the question, 11 over 5. Can you divide 11 by 5 and get no remainder or get no decimal? Well, let's see. How many 5 goes to 11? Well, 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 11 minus 1, 10. 11 minus 10 is 1. So that means you have a remainder 1. And if you keep on going, you'll get decimal. So if this ever happens on your question, on your homework or your test or anything, just leave your answer in fraction, okay? X is equal to 11 over 5. Sometimes your answer can be in fraction, and that's perfectly okay. Because as a student, I used to have this understanding that all the answer must be whole numbers, okay? It has to be something like this. There's no decimal, no fraction. If my answer is like that, I did something wrong. And that's not a correct way of thinking. Okay, so I don't want you guys to have this kind of thinking also, because that's a bad habit. Sometimes it's better to trust your instinct once you know the process. Okay? And that's it. I want you guys to try this to practice. 16x is equal to 48 and x is equal to 11. Okay? Pause the video here and hopefully you do it. Hey guys, hopefully you pause the video. Now let's try this together. We have 16 over x. 16x is equal to 48. Divide both sides by 16. Okay, this is how you should have done it. The 16 cancels out. You're left with x is equal to 48 over 16, or what is it? 3. Okay, so that is your answer. Now we move on to x over 11. X over 7 is equal to 11. Okay, I'd like to rewrite this. Multiply both sides by 7. The 7 cancels out. You're left with x is equal to 77. And those should have been your two answers, okay? And that's the end of the video. Don't forget to click on the next video to learn about the next lesson, okay? I'll see you again on the next video. Bye.